it is very strange to come to Paris for the first time and have people walk up to you and say, "Hey, I know you."
Yeah.
It's the most unbelievable feeling in the world. It's wonderful, and I can't believe my good fortune. I really can't. It's just tremendous. It's fantastic, and I like what I do. I like the show that we're on. I like the people that I work with. So I feel like my enthusiasm is genuine. And when I see people that are fans of the show, I feel like we're able to really connect because of that. Because we both enjoy Fringe, you know. I had several auditions, many callbacks in New York. And each time there were fewer people in the room, but every time that I was auditioning, it was from a different script. It was never from the actual script that we were going to be shooting. And so I was auditioning from scripts from, years ago pilots. They were all old, and the character was always different. And when I finally was asked to screen test, they didn't have enough time to fly me to LA to meet the producers and have a proper screen test. So I just had to be put on tape, and they were going to watch the tape and cast that way. And I thought, I'm not going to get this part now, because there was no way I could meet them in person and try to be charming and wonderful. It was just going to be another tape. And then a few hours later, they called and they said that they wanted me. So I guess I guess my charm went through the tape.
What about your talent, huh?
Oh, the talent wasn't part of it. I
Oh,
think
yes,
it was
it
the
was.
hair.
It was huge.
It was the hair and the charm.
Yeah. Mine was really unusual. I'd heard, my daughter, who was an actress, had heard about this project, and she'd contacted me. She said, Dad, there's a role in it. It's made for you. And so I rang my manager and said, and he said, oh, no, they don't want to see you. You're too young.
I didn't know this.
This is a true story. So I said, oh, whatever. And I went back to Australia, and then I get this phone call saying, the producers want you to put yourself down on tape. And I said, okay. So my daughter was there. We were both back in Australia. And I said, would you read with me, please? So we went to a studio, and not a proper studio, just a studio. And I learnt the role, and my daughter read the other role for me, and we put it down, sent it to Los Angeles, and that was it. I got the role.
The alternate universe was a surprise to me until about halfway through the second season, when I realized that we were actually going to visit the alternate world. And it was super exciting, just because I couldn't think of any other television show that had been able to successfully kind of create two different shows and merge them into one. And this whole buildup was, when they cross over and what's going to happen. And, it was a little bit scary, because if you don't do it well, it's not going to be successful, then nobody's going to watch it. And it would have been a really cool idea that just failed. But I feel like the writers really had a solid idea of how they wanted to drive the show once they came up with the concept of the alternate universes. And I think that it's been incredibly successful. And I love having, the opportunity to play two different roles in the same kind of storyline. It's a pretty special privilege for an actor on a television show.
Seriously? No, this is serious. We don't know. We've just finished season 3, which was intense. I mean, so intense and so complex, the endings. And none of us know anything yet. The writers, our showrunners, are still editing the last 3 episodes. They don't want to talk to us about next year yet, because they're still busy preparing. So I'm not dodging it when I say I don't. Do you know anything?
I have no idea.
No idea. It's never been done before. But this is what the people do on Fringe. They keep coming up with radical, it's an impossible idea. It's an impossible idea for a television episode to do a whole act of animation, which should normally take 6 months to create. And these men and women were given 3 weeks. That's impossible. But that happens on Fringe all the time. We haven't seen it, because it went to air in America last night. I know it was terribly difficult, and they were still dropping in scenes. I know they're still dropping in scenes yesterday afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
How cool is that? It's potentially, I'm not sure, it might be our greatest episode. Potentially. I haven't seen it. All I know was how complex it was. And I heard from the director on just the day before I left, and I said, how did it come together? He said, it's amazing. that's on his edit, so that's all I know. What did you think?
I always feel like you can't top this. You can't top putting a musical episode in the middle of this show and making it work. You can't top introducing the audience to another version of these characters. You can't top the two Olivias fighting each other, and then every single season they do something more. You can't top having a cartoon in the show, and I feel like the finale does that, and it's really unexpected. I had no idea that the ending was going to be what it was, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. It was very exciting to play it, and it's heartbreaking in all the right ways. I think it's a really fantastic scripted
we hope
thing.
So.
Yeah.
We think it's going to be really great.
Yeah.
But we don't see it again until it goes
right
to air.
until it shows.
Fringe.